Hey, what's up you guys? It's your girl Ashlyn. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So it's that time of the month where I show you all the books I read for the month. So in the month of May, yeah, it was May. In the month of May, I read 6 books. Let me tell you, let's talk about it. Let me tell you what I thought about them, right? Okay. I know. Don't judge me. Okay, this book has been on my cart for over 2 years and I have one more that I have to finish and I won't. We're good. Just listen to what I have to say, okay? All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. So it's single POV, so you only get Quinn. You only get Quinn's POV the entire book, but it's jumping between 2 timelines. So it's before, at the beginning of the marriage, and where they're at now in their marriage, right? Okay. There's definitely infertility and cheating in here. So if you don't like these things, I don't recommend. However, it represents, I don't know. Actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. Actually, don't listen to me. Okay. Anyways, so basically you follow Quinn and Graham. They, at the beginning of the book, are both in relationships. They both get cheated on and they meet each other. It is very much insta love. I mean, look at the length of the book. They don't have a lot of time to make it a slow burn. So I obviously don't like insta love at all. I hate it. It makes me want to rip my eyeballs out. But this one had it. So they found comfort in one another. They got along really well. Great, good for them. And then they get married, and then their perfect marriage is threatened by infertility, really. So you kind of follow them along their journey as a married couple, and you kind of get to see how they work through it. Yeah. When I first started reading, I loved Colleen Hoover. I ate her up because I was a new reader. Her books have good plots and they're really easy to get into, and the writing style is really easy to get into. But I think over time, and as I've grown as a person and as a reader, I've outgrown Colleen Hoover, if that makes sense. Like I've just outgrown her. I've read a lot of books by her that I rated highly. You know, that was when I started reading. They're just super, I think I definitely would have given this probably like a 5 stars or something 2 years ago when I started reading, for sure. So that I gave it a 3 out of 5. Do you need more? I don't. There is no more. I will say I have one more book on my card by Colleen Hoover. I have one more book on my card over there. It's Confess by Colleen Hoover. I'll probably read that and I'm good. I have so many of her books. But anyways, that's all. All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover, 3 out of 5 stars. Right. So, I met some friends on TikTok and we made a little group chat. We basically made a little book club. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we all decided to read a book together. We each rated it a different rating and some thought it was better than others. I was not one of them that thought it was good. So I give you A Ruin of Roses by K.F. Breene. I give it 2 out of 5 stars. A 2 out of 5 stars for me is like borderline burn the book. I just was not feeling this. And I could not tell you why. Honestly, I don't remember anything. This is a single POV Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it's Dragon Edition, right? Alright. I thought the beginning was super slow. I can't tell you why at the moment because I do not remember. I just remember making that note and I was like, it's really slow. It's a trilogy, so like it's more like a lead up and then drama will happen in the 2nd and 3rd book. However, I will not be there for that one. Okay, I will not be there to read the 2nd and 3rd book. I will not. I almost DNF this. That's what you need to know is that it's smut, really, is what it is. It's smut with no plot, but there's not even smut in it. It's just like, I don't know. And I know this is bad because this is supposed to be a review about the book, but like, that's how much I did not like it. He's the dragon prince. He has a curse that's set on the kingdom where people can't shift into their creatures or animals. But when she's around him, her creature comes to the surface and wants to shift. However, she cannot because of the curse, right? There's really long chapters in here as well. I really don't know how to explain this to someone. It wasn't for me. How about that? It was not for me. So if you're interested in this, I would say you're gonna have to do other research because I literally do not have the words nor the memory to explain what this book was about. Aroma of Roses by K.F. Breene, 2 out of 5 stars. A Wild Love by Elsie Silver. Okay, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, this is my first Elsie Silver book. I loved it. So this is book 1 of the Rose Hill series, and I absolutely love it. Okay, I thought it was so cute. Look at the cover. In love with the cover. Love a good pink cover. This was so good. This was Brother's Best Friend. This was Childhood Enemies to Lovers. This was a really like loosely written forbidden love. The angst was good, the tension was good spice and good plot. It was like a perfect amount of both, and I love a good balance. You know, this is also Single Dad. I think the whole series is Single Dad, and I'm eating it up every time. I will say I really enjoyed Elsie's writing. I look forward to literally reading everything else she's ever written. I think she'll easily become a favorite author of mine. I think the only thing that kept it from being a 5 stars is that I love the brother's best friend trope. I love it. With a brother's best friend trope, it kind of goes hand in hand with a forbidden love trope, in my opinion, just because it's your brother's best friend, it's your best friend's little sister, you know what I mean? So I think the only thing that kept it from being a 5 stars was that by the time they got around to telling her brother, he was okay with it. He was like, oh, like, I mean, y'all have been in love since we were kids, so like, who cares? I was like, y'all been sneaking. They weren't even like really sneaking around either. They were literally hanging out, so like, it didn't feel like forbidden love, I think. And that's more of like a me problem, you know what I mean? Some people maybe like when the other person's like, oh, like, you're fine, it's cool, we're good. I, however, do not. I want a little bit of toxicity. I want a little bit of anger. Like, that's what I want. Like, Done and Dusted by Lila Sage was the perfect, like he found out, and like he was happy for them after he punched homie in the face, you know what I mean? So I don't know, maybe that's me, maybe that's toxic of me, I don't care. You follow Ford Grant, who is a billionaire, right? And he wants to start up his own record company. So he moves back to the small town Rose Hill, and he wants to be like kind of secluded, and that's where he wants his record company to be. Rosalie, she came from the city and she moves back home, and she sees him trying to start, you know, his business or whatever, and he's like, I'll hire you since you don't have a job and you need the money. I'll hire you, you can work for me, basically be my assistant, help me get this stuff up and running, and everything's gonna be just fine. So she starts working for them. So it's kind of like a workplace romance as well, or maybe like a forced proximity kind of, sort of, because they are neighbors as well. This book is so full of tropes. And then one day Ford gets a knock on his barn door, and a little girl walks in, and she claims to be his daughter, right? I will say the way the way that she was his daughter was really, it was different. It was interesting. I did like that. I was like, oh, right. So I just thought it was really cute. I thought it was really cute. I loved it. And Elsie, I will be buying and reading literally everything else you've ever written. Okay. 4 to 5 stars. Wild Love by Elsie Silver. The next one is this is King of Wrath by Anne Wong. I am a Anna Wong stan until the day I die. I absolutely love her. I read the whole Twisted series. I will be reading this whole series. I will literally die on this hill that I will absolutely always read anything and everything that Anna Wong writes. I love it. I eat it up every time. What more could you possibly want from me? Okay, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. This is the King of Sin series. This is book 1. There's gonna be 7 books of all the sins. So there's King of Wrath, King of Pride, King of Greed, King of Sloth. And I want to say it's envy, gluttony, and lust. I think. Okay, so this is, of course, dual POV. This is arranged marriage, marriage of convenience, forced marriage, however you want to do that, right? I'll explain further in a second. Forced proximity, jealousy trope, enemies to lovers. I put in my notes, Dante and Vivian had jokes. They were funny. They were absolutely so funny. Like, because they hated each other so much, they would just crack these jokes. And I think Dante has really dry humor, and it's so funny. So you follow billionaire CEO Dante Russo, right? He, he's top dog in New York, right? So eventually, he gets blackmailed by Vivian's father, and because Vivian's family is considered new money, he's like, you will marry my daughter, because Dante can open doors for them, and he can be a name that they use to get things that they want. So it's really, really selfish, I'd say. You're gonna marry my daughter, right? And he's like, being blackmailed. So of course he says yes, but his plan is to literally destroy her father and his company and literally everything, because you don't cross a Russo. You just don't. You just don't. He of course agrees to marry her, so they get engaged, and Need You No More, right? Vivian, I loved Vivian. She was amazing. She's the baddest bitch ever. She was girl bossing the whole book, in my opinion. So basically, they get engaged, she moves in, and Vivian just kind of, and they get to know each other in their own little funny, weird way, and it ends up being really great. I love it so much. They hate each other, of course. Of course, the jealousy in here was crazy. I loved every moment of it, every word. The love confession, so sweet. It was so sweet. I don't know, I just loved Dante and Vivian. They were definitely, I've only read 1 book in the series, but they were definitely my favorites so far, for sure. I don't know, Vivian, Anna just knows how to write a man. It was just, read it. If you have never read anything by Anna Wong, read it. Read the Twisted series, read this series, read it. Okay, I love it. 4 to 5 stars. I guess, I don't even know what didn't make this. It was just missing something, and I don't know what. But I'm not complaining. It was so good. It was so good. If you get anything from my review of this book, it was excellent. It was amazing. It was beautiful. I love Anne Wong, and read this book. King of Wrath by Anne Wong. 4 to 5 stars. I feel like I'm doing so bad at explaining literally all of these books. I'm trying my best. The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. Right. Okay, so I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely adored this book. My grandma sent this to me a couple months ago and she wanted me to read it, so I do have a reading vlog that I made. I just have to edit it. It's 2 hours long. Be patient with me. I will have a reading vlog of this coming out. I don't normally read this genre, so I feel like that's why I was so entertained in it, you know. Something like this could very much not be entertaining really quickly, but it was so entertaining. I loved every moment. I thought it was perfect. I thought it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. You follow 3 different POVs, okay? So you follow Martha, Opaline, and Henry, okay? So Opaline is from the 1920s. You follow her along her journey of just life in general and see where she ends up. I loved her. I think she was my absolute favorite character. Originally, her brother was like, you're gonna marry this dude, like, and Opaline was like, girl, I don't think so. So she sells some of her things and she dips, she leaves, she runs away, and she kind of starts her own new life for herself. And so you follow her along that journey, and then you fast forward to present day with Martha and Henry. Eventually they meet each other and they are trying to find the lost bookshop, right? And then throughout the story you kind of see where it all connects by the end of it, and it was just really good. I loved it. Actually, I loved it. I don't know what it was. I loved it so much. The first page, it says her books, the author's books, tread the intriguing line between the everyday and otherworldly, revealing the magic that exists in our ordinary lives. And that's very much what it felt like. Like, it wasn't like a full-blown fantasy, you know, it still had some real life aspects, but in a way it felt magical, if that makes sense. And I think I liked it kind of dancing that fine line. I think I really enjoyed that. There's just so much in this book. It's beautiful and sweet, it's sad and heartbreaking, it's adventure, it's like, it just has a little bit of everything. So it was very, very entertaining. So 10 out of 10 recommend the audiobook. The audiobook's excellent. I listened to it on Spotify. It felt like I was watching a movie in my head, if that makes sense. I recommend the audiobook if you don't want to sit down and read this with your eyes, you know. I will say the only thing I did not like was that in the present day they'd bring up like TikTok and stuff, and I don't like that in books. It kind of kills it for me a little bit, just because, like, yes, like, we use TikTok in the modern world. I don't want it in the book. Again, I don't read books like this. I've never tried this genre. I couldn't even tell you what genre this is. It's literally all of them. But I was very entertained and pleasantly surprised with how the book worked out. So, no complaints for me. So thank you, Grammy. This is amazing. I am making a vlog. It's coming out soon. I promise. I just have to sit down and edit 2 hours worth of me reading this book. So, The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods, 5 out of 5. So our 6th and final book, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I really liked her writing style a lot, actually. Also, listen to the audiobook of this. It was also really good. I'm not an audiobook girly, so trust me when I say I really like their voices. It was very entertaining, and it got me through the book. Okay, because I almost went into a slump here at the end of the month, actually. It's dual POV, and so you get, not me forgetting their names, you get Emma's POV and Justin's POV. Okay, the chapters, kind of long. Not a fan of long chapters, but I listened to it, so it didn't really bother me all that much. It is, it's friends to lovers, kinda, but also insta-lovey. So I think that's what kept me from rating it 5 stars. I don't love friends to lovers and I hate insta love, so it was just kind of like, right, like when they get together and there's no angst, there's no tension, there's no build up, it just does not work for me at all, actually. So because of the plot, the insta love friends to lovers trope kind of works. So basically you follow Emma and Justin. Justin posts on Reddit. He explains that when he dates a girl, he dates her for a little while, they break up, and then right after she finds her soulmate, she finds the person she's gonna be with for the rest of her life, and he just wants to break that curse. Emma reads the Reddit post and she also has that same curse. They think that by them dating each other, their curses will cancel out, right? So like, cute, right? But there's deeper things going on in their lives, which I think is what I like the most. Emma has a really toxic mother, and then Justin has his own stuff going on where he has to ultimately become the guardian of his 3 little siblings. So like, you know, it all worked itself out, and at the end I was listening to the Q&A section where Abby Jimenez was talking through and answering these questions. So basically the relationship dynamic between Justin and Emma is avoidant attachment style, right? Emma is very much like, I can't handle this, I'm packing my bags and I'm leaving. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm leaving. I cannot stay here. I will not stay here. I will not get attached to you. And Justin is that one person that will keep trying, will keep going at it, will keep, you know, just putting in all that effort until he breaks down those walls and he gets her to love him, which is so real. I feel like a lot of people, especially nowadays, have that avoidant attachment style. So it was really interesting to see that in a book, to see how people develop that attachment style, because you do find out why she's like that. Anyways, in the Q&A section, she mentions how she talked to, you know, licensed therapists and like mental health like experts to make sure that everything she wrote was accurate. And she also had a sensitivity reader, which was really interesting, to make sure that everything she wrote was, you know, was okay for people who may find those things, you know, triggering or whatever it may be. Also, there were really cute, sweet moments. There was really funny moments. Like, it was really, really well written. I would recommend this to anyone. It's a perfect summer read. So Justin, he is the king of acts of service. He is amazing. He's the epitome of, if he wanted to, he would. This man literally hopped on a floaty, on a unicorn floaty, and paddled across the lake to get to her. He literally would like wait on her hand and foot. He would send her surveys, like pre-date surveys and post-date like questionnaires and stuff, because he's Justin. Why wouldn't he? I thought that was so cute. I love when a man has a love language that is acts of service. I think that's so sweet and so amazing, and kind of like actions speak louder than words. And it was good. It was really, really great. I loved it. The only thing that was keeping it from 5 stars, of course, was the insta-love friends to lovers, but with everything else that goes on in this book, it works, and it just made it a 4 stars instead of a 5. And that's Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, 4 out of 5 stars. That is our 6th and final book for the month. What more could I say? What more could I want? These are the books that I read for the month of May. But that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!